Unc, I just want to come forward right quick with a quick dream for y'all, a quick message um about my encounter with the Nagas, the Naginis, which um I just had the other day, about 3-4 days ago, and they had been on my mind recently, real heavy. Like I had been channeling the Nagas and the Naginis, which is I was told those are the female Nagas, and some who basically live around, but mention as well, and had been channeling this image I had of like Naga female serpent that was like carved into the stone and the ancient stuff with the Hindus over there in India. So I had been channeling that really hard um over the last strong, like how Ross Ben say, like we don't say week or the last week, we say over the last strong, or this strong coming up, stuff like that. So I had been channeling that image, and then I had been telling my homeboy, I was telling my homeboy more about these Nagas, because me and him had been talking about the Nagas for a while. But I was telling him about the Nagas, me, him, and another one, good one of my brothers. I was telling my boy about these Nagas, and then that night, I went to sleep, and I was asleep. I had went to sleep real early, um, maybe around like 8ish, 9ish, and then just slept. No, matter of fact, I had went to sleep earlier in the day, maybe like around 4 or 5, and then slept and woke up around 6ish, like 6:54, something like that. Um, and then stayed up for a little while till about 9, and then went to sleep all the way through, all the way through, um, till about like 4 or 5 in the morning, and that's when I started waking up. I wanted to keep this on. I want to turn off. Yeah, I keep it like that. So yeah, so that's when I started waking up a little bit and seeing like, man, like I've been sleeping pretty good, because I've been asleep since yesterday, like midday. So so around like 4 or 5 a.m. Is when I started, like, I said, okay, either I can stay up or try to go back into like a real quick deep nap before I started my day. So I decided to go back into a deep nap. So of course I had been in the astral plane. I had been in the astral plane that whole night. But when I went into the astral plane around 4 or 5 a.m., I actually astral traveled, I guess, into like an inner dimension, I would say, or to like another dimension, because it definitely was still. So basically, I was out in this Greenland, because this part of the dream that happened 4 or 5 a.m. was synced to the dreams that I was having all throughout the night, and even around 4 or 5 p.m. when I was asleep. And once I finally woke up, like around 6ish, like the dreams I was having then, I kind of relinked those dreams. I started having those dreams. I was kind of linked. It was all somewhat linked, you know. Um, Maybe not the ones from 4 or 5 p.m., but the ones when I went to sleep at 9 p.m. It was like it was still the same dream kind of going on. Like the same people that was upset with me in the astral plane. Like 12 o'clock at night, 1, 2 a.m. while I was asleep. Once I finally had woke up and then went back to sleep around like 4 or 5 a.m. because it was still dark out. Um, you know, I just went back to sleep, went up to the astral plane, and I was out in like a Greenland, and this dude that I know, you know what I'm saying, he was upset with me over something I did earlier in the astral plane when I was dreaming at nighttime. So me and him got into a physical altercation, and we was out in this green land where we was actually was being inducted into the ceremony, which I believe was a ceremony into the being inducted into the hollow earth, the inner earth. Because I just remember, you know what I'm saying, we all had on white, basically like gowns, basically like those white robes from back in the day. And you know, there was other initiates who were dressed in white who were coming up, and they were putting on like the paint. They were putting like the paint on our hair, on our face, or on our clothes or whatever. And I just remember like a couple of the initiates that was doing my hair paint, because I remember we did have a hair painted like green, yellow, and red, stuff like that. I believe the top was green. So you know, we had they was coming up, and they was painting. They was like painting our hair or whatever. And I just remember like the initiates. They was like young dudes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was black. It was just all like, it was like 50 black males out there. You know what I mean? And I remember, you know, the brothers that was doing mine, like the young brothers that was coming up and doing my face paint, like, or doing my hair or whatever, they was still mad at me from the last dream over something I had did, you know, to somebody in the last dream. So, you know, I remember they had animosity towards me, but we was all being inducted into a ceremony together, as if like it was a ceremony, you know, that the elders was holding, and they was making us do or whatever. So, we're going through this green land. We're all like in a line format. We're all like in one line, while these young dudes is coming up doing our, like putting the paint on our hair or whatever. So once we finally get through the ceremony, I see myself in like third person. Like I see myself walking from the side, and that's how I knew what color our hair was painted. Like that's how I knew what they was doing. Like I had like green hair on the top, and it was like yellow and red, and we was dressed in white. And it was a ceremony. We was definitely getting inducted into the inner earth, because once I got there, once we got on the inside, I just remember it was like the dream had changed. I didn't see myself. I didn't see us going through like tunnels or anything like that. But the dream was, first we were out in this huge Greenland, this vast Greenland, being inducted into some type of ceremony. And then I just remember I was like in a cave, you know what I'm saying, where it was lit up like Auburn, but I was in a cave, and I was in front, and there was a melanated female in front of me with the top half of a woman, a black girl, black woman, and the bottom half of a snake, but a long snake. It was really long, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like long. Like if you go pull up the videos about the Nagas, they're gonna tell you about how their lower half can be long, like it can be like snake like, and really long though. Like so she was sitting there, you know what I'm saying? And, I had the other initiates with me. Keep in mind, the same dudes I had a problem with, had a problem with me. And one of them I had gotten into a physical altercation with, who was actually a dude that I know in this dimension, in this third density. So she tells us all, you know, she's talking to us all. She tells me that she is a princess. And I remember she looked over at the dudes, the other initiates, the dudes that was with me to my left hand side, and she jumps up a little bit. She jumps up and shapeshifts, transforms into this dragon, and then she just spits fire at all those dudes. You know, she like blows fire on them, but she just like, she jumped up to the air, like shapeshifted into a dragon, from a woman to a dragon. Which, you know what I'm saying, I've already put my videos about us being dragons, and that's a lot of our higher forms or other forms. You know, is the dragon form. You know, so she jumps up, into, you know, a couple feet higher than where she was in the air, shoots fire at all the dudes. I'm guessing what I got from the dream. I'm guessing those were the dudes like that had beef with me. And since I already got this love for these Nagas and was somewhat like a worship, you know what I'm saying, where you know, they worship you, you worship them, because we are God, you know. So, you know, she shoots this fire. She shoots her fire on these dudes, and I remember the next part of the dream was I was in another part of the cave, and it's like I was following her at this point, like I was like running with her. It was like I was an energy that was like right behind her, like right up on her. Like I didn't see my physical form in that. I just seen me in spectator form, and she transformed into this black mist. Like it was a whole bunch of black mist, a real thick cloud. And then she went inside of this water that was in the cave pattern. It was like a side little portion of the cave where it was like it looked perfectly carved out. You know what I mean? Like some type of sewage or something of that nature. You know. And so she was this black mist. She transformed herself into this black mist and then went inside of the water. You know. Went inside of the rivers. So, you know, that's the dream. Hotep.